So hip thrusts are a very effective lower body exercise which primarily target your glutes. So to set them up, you'll need to have a bench like I do here, and you can, depending on your gym, you might need to put some weights behind it just to make sure that you don't slip. So with the setup for the hip thrust, the first thing you want to do is get your upper back on the bench. So you want to make sure that your kind of middle to upper back is on the bench so that you don't slip off. The next thing then is set your feet. So you want to have your feet around shoulder width apart, toes slightly pointed outwards, so that when you come up, your knee and ankle should be in line. So the next thing, after you have your feet set, you want to tuck your chin down and tighten in your core. So what commonly people will do is they'll forget to do this. They'll just come straight up, just like I'm showing here, and they'll end up hyperextending their back. So if you tighten the chin, push the chin down, tighten the core down, and you really want to keep that position all the way through. So it's really just your hips doing all the driving. So when you're going to perform this, what you want to do is really focus on pushing through your heels. So you're pushing through your heels, squeezing your glutes at the top. And then your knees should always be going outwards. They'll want to come in, so if you really focus on pushing them out, it externally rotates your hip, which really lets you use your glutes a lot more. So next we have the barbell hip thrust. So to set this up, you want to the easiest way is just to use your elbows to lift yourself up and then get yourself into the right position. So it's the same technique points, still pushing through your heel, knees out, squeezing at the top. So you're going to need to use some type of padding or something across your hips here, because the bar will dig into your hips and start kind of hurting you if you don't. So same technique, core is nice and tight, just pushing up through the hips, squeeze nice and hard at the top. You can also use a kettlebell to load this exercise. So this is a good way for people to kind of start off if they're not confident with using a bar yet. So you just rest the kettlebell on your hips, and it's quite a good exercise because the weight comes straight down on top of you instead of the weight is at the side, so you really do feel this when you're doing it. The only problem with it is when you get strong pretty quickly, so you might run out of weights to use. The single leg hip thrust is the next exercise. So this is a really hard exercise, and doing it just even with your body weight can be difficult. But it's really good if you have a kind of imbalance in one leg, that you can isolate one leg at a time and really try and strengthen that muscle.